that report. Now, entrepreneurship in Nigeria is evolving, and at the heart of this evolution are bold, young, and visionary women who are launching ideas, building systems, and defying the odds. Our guest today is one such force. Dr. Temitope Akinsemoyin is an accomplished administrator, academic, and businesswoman. She is the founder and principal partner of the Stanchion TM Group, a powerhouse comprising Stanchion TM Consult, NG, Stanchion Academy, Stanchion Tech, and Stanchion Realty. Her influence spans Nigeria, Canada, and the United States, and her work focuses on transforming businesses, building human capital capacity, and integrating tech innovation with strategic leadership. It's great to have you join us, Temitope. Let me not try the surname again. Let me not shoot myself in the foot.
Thank you.
How are you doing today?
I'm good.
Thanks for being with us.
Thank you too.
All right, let's talk about what's trending right now and the factors driving the increasing interest of Nigerian women in entrepreneurship, and how can this momentum be sustained?
Okay. Like the adage just says, anywhere we belay face,
Where that be from?
So, yeah. So unemployment, like I always say, it's very high at the moment, and even underemployment is higher than even unemployment at the moment. So you see a lot of people are employed, but they are underemployed. Even with the salaries, they cannot afford basic things of life. So that is number one drive for me, in my own opinion, according to research, that drives innovation and tech. It's just like, let's create employment, let's create, let's go from just survival mode, to stability mode. So, and also we have more access to data, more access to internet. So people are seeing what is happening on the other side of the world. You're seeing this 16-year-old doing this 20-year-old doing this. So like, oh, I can do it. It doesn't matter that I'm on the other side of the world, And then again, people like me are using platforms like this, to come and say, oh, you can do this, you can do that. So for me, it has really these three factors, have really driven a lot of women and a lot of younger people, to say, I can do this, And you asked the question again, you said, what can, sustain it?
Yes, the momentum.
The momentum.
How can it be sustained?
Yeah, I think, like what we do at Stanchion TM, most especially, is PPP, public-private partnerships. So, the government can, put up policies, to continue to help all of this, and mentors and even younger mentors like me, continue to give access to young mentees, entrepreneurs that are upcoming, and even the people that just, want to come into the market, So I think that would help drive the momentum.
Well, speaking about public and private partnership, PPP as it were, I want to talk about government initiatives, the current one that we have. Are they actually very effective? We can use Lagos State as a yardstick and see if the state has been providing necessary tools to support women entrepreneurship.
Okay, you can say Lagos State is the Silicon Valley of tech, in Africa.
Okay.
And, we are trying, or let me say, I'm a Lagosian, I'm an indigenous Lagosian. So
oh, wow.
Yes, definitely I'm going to speak well about my state. I'm pro-Lagos.
Okay.
So I think Lagos State has done well so far, but we need to do more. And an example of this initiative is the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund.
Okay.
But, I have a problem. I'm sorry, apologies, to my people on that side. I have a problem with just policies implementation. It's just we need to go from policy implementation to not just policy, paper, and promises. We need to go from those 3 Ps to actual implementation.
Okay.
So not just policy, not just paperwork, not just promises, just implement these things. We don't want you to come on TV and announce. We don't want to see it in the news. Let us see these things in action or in more action. So I think Lagos State should focus more on the implementation, and Nigeria as a whole. I've worked on several projects, with several parastatals in the government, when it comes to innovation and all of that. But it's not just policies, like I was saying, not just policies, paper, and promises. Let us see the implementation, of not just old policies. Let's see something that is very
tailored to the new system.
Tailored to the new system. We don't want empowerment with grinding machine, with sewing machines and all of those stuff. We need things that are actually beneficial to the 21st century, skills that are very beneficial, not just skills, but skills that are beneficial to this economy, to this century, so that's it.
Okay, so in very said, the government will need to bring in, youths or youthful tailored, needs and providers, to work with them to collaborate, so they can actually understand what the people actually need.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about inclusion, financial inclusion, and let's talk about how financial institutions or digital platform can help and drive financial inclusion, specifically amongst women and young entrepreneurs.
Okay, thank you. So there are a lot of programs that are ongoing. There are a lot of digital platforms that are ongoing. Like shout out to Sholape Akinpelu, CEO of Harvest. She's doing an amazing job with the Harvest app. It's a financial inclusion app. It gives you access to savings, loans, and all of that stuff.
I hope they're not commercial.
No,
I have to charge them for commercial.
No, she's doing an amazing job with that. Sterling Bank is also doing something.
That's commercial.
Amazing with that. Access and some of these other banks are doing a whole lot with this platform, and there are other smaller platforms that we've not even heard of that are doing this. But in my own opinion, want the government to also fund some of these platforms, invest in them, because private sectors like us, we might have the innovation, we might have the skills, but we don't have access to the funding that will give us that numbers. So I say government should just come in to help with these platforms.
Okay, let's talk about AI now, artificial intelligence, because it's been wonderful, it's been so amazing, and it also has its own drawbacks, and some people are scared of AI taking over, in terms of, talent, jobs, outsourcing, and all of that. So what strategies can be implemented to mitigate the impact of AI and maybe automation on women's employment?
Okay, so I dislike when people say that AI are coming for people's jobs.
That's what most people think. Some people think.
No,
it's actually supposed to enhance and make our jobs easier.
So it's just like I'm wearing a makeup now. Does it take away my beauty?
Done by AI?
It wasn't.
Just asking.
No, it was done by me. So AI is not coming to take people's job. Rather, is trying to redirect, your skills.
Okay.
So for example, one of our companies at Stanchion TM is Stanchion Academy, and what I emphasize a whole lot when people come in and say, "Oh, I want mentorship, I want to do this, I do that." I said the first thing you need to do is a change of mindset.
Okay.
And no mindset is permanent. Take for example what you do now. 10 years back, the technology you have now, you do not have it then. But has it taken away your job? No. But it has helped you.
Made it better and
yes. So that is the problem. People should learn to reskill. So like I say, our watchword at Stanchion Academy is unlearn. You first of all unlearn the things that you relearn. The things that are happening, and you learn the new things. So like my dad will say, my dad is a professor of administration. So he'll say, I'm not too old to learn. But we in this part of the world, once we have our PhDs, we think, oh, we are the epitome of knowledge. But no, you keep on learning. And same thing, I like to tell the younger Nigerians, because one thing is working for you now doesn't mean in the next 10 years that thing will work. So you need to change your strategy. You need to relearn. So AI is not coming for anybody's job. You need to just relearn, upgrade your skills. So like I was saying now, the answer to your question, reskilling is key. So AI is not coming for anybody's job. AI is not taking away anything. It's just giving you a redirection. So people in the tech industry, not just tech industry, tech, when people hear tech, they think it's something that's serious. No, tech is just simply a process of making something easier and better. So using tools, using innovations and all of that, that's just what tech is. So AI is not coming to take anybody's job, just make it better. So as business owners, as entrepreneurs, you just need to learn these tools, especially the new AI tools, to help your business, help your life.
Okay, let's talk about food, which is really very important too. everyone to the country? Because right now we seem to be having a bit of food insecurity in the country. And let's talk about agricultural empowerment programs specifically for women. How can they be scaled to reach lots of women across the country? And what role does maybe technology play in this expansion so that the average woman can get more involved in agriculture and doing it the right way?
Okay, so I think the perception that agriculture is for poor people, you know, so a lot of younger people now would see, let me say, when I say younger people, I mean less than age 40, think agriculture is a peasant way of life, but it's a very large industry, and very soon I'm going to go commercial with agriculture because it's like, it's has always been there. It's the new oil. It's not even that the new oil well, it's been the oil well, but you know, we choose to diversify. You know, before the discovery of oil in Nigeria, it was agriculture, and that's why it seems like some people in some part of the country, I don't want to mention names, seem richer, you know, than the other part because they went into agriculture and they understand agriculture. So tech has, you know, a whole lot of ways, you know, to improve agriculture. Like, for example, it tells you this is the new season, this is the raining season, this is the dry season, you know, methodologies and, you know, all these climate changes and all these tools that you can use for that. You know, it also when you take samples from the soil and all of that stuff, you know, it's tech, you know, you go analyze it in the laboratory and all of that. So these things are, you know, they are tech, they are things that, you know, can help agriculture. And I would say sensitization again. There needs to be a lot of sensitization to be done in the agricultural sector and let people know that agriculture is not for poor people. Agriculture is for everyone. And, you know, to go away from hunger, food shortage, unemployment and all of that, we all need to go back to agriculture in one form or the other.
It's a big value chain.
Yes,
actually.
it is a big value chain. You know, agriculture is not just, when you hear people hear agriculture, sometimes they just think it's planting.
Just planting, farming.
No, agriculture is not just farming. You know, there is hydroponics, a new form of, you know, you plant in the air. You don't even need soil to plant, you know, to grow things. You can use air. You know, animal husbandry is also agriculture. Fishery is also agriculture.
The processing.
You know, so processing, storage, you know, some people don't even need to be farmers. They need to, you know, just be marketers or middlemen, you know, just go buy this produce from the farmers, come to, you know, to the urban areas to sell all of these things. So there's a diverse niche in agriculture, and, you know, also people in tech can also create tools, you know, to help farmers. It could be a platform that brings farmers and buyers together. It could also be a platform that brings industries, you know, and farmers together. So there is a large or a vast industry, you know, that everyone has a role to play in it, you know. So for me, I think that there should be more sensitization on agriculture and agricultural industry as a whole.
Okay, in your opinion, would you say there is this thing of a digital gender gap in Nigeria? And if there is, what measures can be taken to bridge them? Because lately there's been this talk of bringing women and girls into STEM, science, technology, engineering, and maths, you know, so that women can be more, you know, versed, so more into things that has to do with technology, science, and of course all of the STEM, you know, narrative. So, is there a gender imbalance or digital imbalance in terms of how women and men skew in that process?
Okay, so if you look at the world generally, I think women are sidelined a whole lot, you know, and, you know, it's just getting better, you know, and I think there is a huge gender gap. And like I said, this whole thing, it needs multi-stakeholders, just like we do at PPP. So the public sector has their own role to play. The private sector also has their own role to play. And also foundations and NGOs, just like we saw in the report with Tolu and the Eagle Foundation, they also have their role, you know, to play. So where the government comes in, the government has the money, they have the power to, you know, carry out the policy and all of that. So they bring the policy, they bring out the funding, and, you know, we on the private sector, we have the innovation, we have the tech, we have the ability to scale up, so and also skill up, you know. So we bring in that part, and also the NGOs on their part, they have access to grassroots data and information, and, you know, a lot of locals trust NGOs even more than the government or more than even private sector. So they help with the grassroots mobilization. The NGOs, they also help with the trust, building that bridge of that trust. So everyone has their role, to play. So government brings in, makes the policy. If tomorrow morning government says, oh, everyone that is between the ages of 18 to 25 must go through this training, we have you have to
after
comply.
God, it's government.
After God is government. Thank you. So we have to follow that. So if the government brings in the policy, brings in the financial part of the funding, we as the private sector, we have the tech already, we have the innovation, it's just the money to implement it. So once we have that, the government brings us in as partners, we teach these things, we bring the innovation, we scale up, and the NGO, they help us with the data. So I think working together, collaboration is going to really help with the gender inclusion and bridge the gender
It's a
gap.
good thing you've talked about partnership between government and the private sector, and of course NGOs to address the issue of gender imbalance in terms of digital space. But let's talk about, as we round off now, let's talk about the role mentorship and maybe networking opportunities can play in supporting women entrepreneurs.
Okay, so a lot of times I think people don't like to share. And for me, as a young mentor to younger Nigerians and a lot of younger Africans, because I've lived outside of Nigeria before in another African country, but I noticed that people who have made it, they do not share.
They don't share.
They don't share information, like they gatekeep. And they feel like, oh, because I've suffered this thing, you too, you have to suffer it. And then again, we have people like me that are sharing, let me say, to the wrong crowd. Because a lot of times you see people that say, oh, please come and mentor me, come and do this, come and do that. And when you say, oh, we have a mentorship course that is, really interactive, go on the website, go and learn this thing. They are too lazy, to go through it. So that's like another problem, that we face, but at the end of the day, I'm not still the bad. Like someone like me, I'm not the bad. I still keep sharing. And I also encourage other mentors, people that have, gone through the whole process. I'm still going through the process, but to an extent, I have had that leverage, and people should share. Mentors should bring in mentees, helping them. And, because mentorship is not just talking. Mentorship has a way of building confidence. It has a way of giving accountability and all of that. So I'll say there should be more mentorship programs. The government can also, help with these programs, and also investors, that are watching, that like for the goodwill, and also NGOs should also, collaborate with more mentors to create networks, to create mentorship programs, to help with access to grants and fundings and all of that for entrepreneurs and upcoming entrepreneurs.
Okay, before I let you go now, just in 30 seconds, that's your camera. I just want you to just give a word of advice to some woman who is struggling and who feels they cannot really continue with their business and they just need to hear something encouraging. What would your last word to her be?
Okay, don't give up, because that you're seeing here, I've had setback at some point in my life that I thought it was over, but somehow I started working and building gradually, and sometimes it will be fast, sometimes it's slow, but who's counting? Here I am. So do not give up. Keep on making your life better every day. Do something every day to make your life better. So
thank you so much, Temitope. That was really, really exciting. Thank you for lending your voice and, of course, your wonderful opinion to this topical issue that every woman needs to listen and needs to know. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
All right, so that was truly enlightening. My guest has done justice to all of that. It is clear that the entrepreneurial revolution among women and young people in Nigeria isn't a trend. It is the future. We are moving forward. But for that future to be sustainable, we need more than passion. We need policies, platforms, access to capital, and an ecosystem that nurtures both ideas. From markets to tech hubs, from boardrooms to classrooms, the next generation of bosses is here, and they are building a new Nigeria. But that's it on Business Insights for today. I am Justin Akadonye. Until next time, keep building, keep growing, and keep watching Plus TV Africa. Bye for now.